Well, hello. Hello. Hey, Ipso, and hello, C3PO. Good afternoon to you all. So we are live, not just on Twitch, but also on YouTube. This is my first time doing this, or rather, I've already done a live stream on YouTube, but I've never done simulcasting. Also on YouTube, hello, Nicolas Javier Herrera Medina. Man, names on YouTube, of course, are not just nicknames. So such a different way of doing things. I'll have to get used to it. In any case, let me see briefly if like everything is kind of okay on YouTube. So give me just a second. Okay, volume seems fine. Image looks fine. Maybe we could... There you go. This makes the green screen a little bit better. So, hello everybody. Hey Louise. Hey yo. Okay, so here's the idea for today. So first of all, also hello Neuroside. Hey Genevieve. Data Cobra X2. Hello. So, okay, here's the plan for today. I started simulcasting, so I want my Twitch chat client Bork to support both Twitch and YouTube. So the idea is that I want one chat stream that I can use to basically see messages coming from both platforms. The problem is, I don't know if anybody has noticed, but usually I have Bork running here. But guess what? Apparently there's been a regression because I'm getting missing field while renewing Twitch oAuth token. So I would have to investigate where that missing field error comes from. It kind of sounds a little bit like almost a error. So this is a Zig error, right? That says missing field. So it's not like an error that comes from Twitch. It's not Twitch telling me missing field, I think. So it's probably something that I messed up for myself. So I'll have to figure that out. So step one, get Bork back running for Twitch. And then step two is to add support for YouTube properly, and so that we can have everything work. I've actually done some work in that sense already, just a little bit of exploration. And what I have is... what I have basically is I have the oAuth string for the Bork application. I have the broadcast URL to find out which active broadcasts you have at the moment. And then step 3, which is not implemented yet, is, well, hopefully once we do this, we find an active live stream on YouTube, because YouTube is more complicated than Twitch. In Twitch, you just have your own channel and that's all you have. And you automatically attach to the chat, live chat of your channel. But on YouTube, it's different. There's multiple videos and your live stream is one videos out of many. You could even have multiple live streams happening in parallel. So what I'm thinking of doing is probably something along the lines of like have some automated heuristic that works for simple use cases, and then give you a fancy command. Well, fancy, and then give you a command where basically you can specify, okay, this is the chat channel that I want to connect to, where basically maybe you provide the YouTube video ID, something along those lines. In any case, this stuff is not yet implemented, so we'll have to figure that out. But step 1 is figure out what's going on with normal Bork and Twitch. So that said, if anybody is I don't know, watching and has any Zig related question, I'm happy to chat about stuff, programming, like Zig programming, any other question, roadmap, whatever. Also, another reason why I'm doing this work is because Software You Can Love is coming soon, and So I said here live streamed on Twitch, which I do think I'm gonna do, but also I think I might want to also live stream on YouTube, like simulcasting. I am not confirmed yet. I don't know. We'll see, because unfortunately the production setup is a little bit complicated, and I don't have all the equipment that I would need to make all this stuff like 100% comfortable. So I don't know up to what point I want to exert myself. We'll see. I already have a question. Okay, let's go. What's Bork? Oh, sorry. So what's Bork coming from YouTube? So what's Bork? Bork is this. So you can check out the README while I answer the other question. Let's see, maybe it's a dumb question, but I ask it anyway because I'm absolutely new to Zig. Okay, I wanted to try Bork out, so I cloned the main repo using Zig version 0.11, which is the Arch Linux package. However, it fails to compile. Yep. Yep. How do you fix this? Bork right now is not... so there are a lot of changes in Zig from version to version. In 0.11, right now, it's like more than 6 months old. In Zig time, that's like, I don't know, back when the dinosaurs were alive, roughly speaking. So Bork right now is basically tracking latest Zig master. So my recommendation in general also would be to not use the Arch Linux package and instead to download an unstable build of Zig from the official website. 0.12 should come out soon. It's a matter of weeks. So that said, I don't know how long it will take for Arch Linux to get the 0.12 package. I cannot say. But in general, I would suggest that if you are trying to get into Zig, just use latest Zig, because releases are few, far apart, and they become stale fairly quickly because speed of development is really high. And you kind of want the latest and greatest the Zig has to offer. And more importantly, a lot of the ecosystem tracks master. This is not going to stay like this forever, but at least for now, there is a reason to not want to stay on old Zig, because otherwise it takes a while to get all the good stuff that was added to Zig in the meantime. So as you can see, this was... changed last week to support latest Zig. That's pretty much what you have to do. You could probably find an old version of Bork that supports Zig 0.11, but even then, like Bork also, like old Bork, not as good as new Bork. So I would also strongly recommend you try to, you don't attempt to use an old version of Bork. Oh, so apparently there are other solutions for Arch to get Zig. Yeah, so you know what? Maybe you have your Arch, like your distro specific tricks. But what I would say more in general is get comfortable with the idea of using unstable Zig. And I would also even suggest to get comfortable with the idea of managing your Zig installation yourself. These, again, I don't know everything. Actually, I don't know much about the hour on how things work on Arch. But in general, like Zig is a self-contained package. Like it's an archive. You download the archive, you extract it somewhere, you either add the bin folder to your path, or you symlink the Zig executable to somewhere in any of your bin folders. That's it. You're done. You don't need to do anything else. There's no other dependencies. There's no other weird stuff that you have to do. You're done. Just symlink the executable or add the directory to your path. Environment variable. That's all you have to do. Lastly, if you want, like, so while I would recommend that you get comfortable with that level of intimacy with managing your Zig, at least for now, right? As long as it's being actively developed. Once we reach Zig 1.0, it won't matter. Then you can revert back to doing the normal package thing. But until it's being so actively developed, you really do. Like, you don't want to get in a situation where, oh no, I want to try Zig, a new version of Zig, but I am only used to download stuff from the package manager, and the package manager is not updated yet. Also because Zig releases tend to be tied to LLVM releases. So new LLVM comes out, then Zig right away, not always, but most of the time, Zig right away updates to the new LLVM version. Problem is, depending on how your package manager works, like how your distro works, some distros are only going to update version of LLVM after they can update all the dependencies of LLVM. Only then they will add a new version of LLVM to their system. And that might take a while. Zig will usually update right away. It will be one of the first packages to update to the new version of LLVM. But other packages won't do it on the same schedule. So you always have these weird moments that you can completely avoid just by managing your installation of Zig yourself. As I was saying, there's one last trick that I would suggest, which is to try out Zig Up. Zig Up. Let me see. Can I place here? Yes. So this is Zig Up. Oh, did my YouTube message not get sent? Wait, did it get filtered out because it's a... Oh, no. Okay, it did work. So yeah, try Zig Up. Zig Up, as you can imagine, it's a project that allows you to basically automate the download, extract, symlink process for Zig versions. But again, it's not magic. It's like, I think maybe it's useful to have, once you have mastered the process of downloading, extracting, and symlinking for Zig packages. Anyway, that is it with regards to that. Let's see. I was learning Zig for quite some time and I couldn't get a grip on the language. Then I started watching your Twitch streams. I could connect things and now understanding things. Thank you for the streams. Let's go. You're welcome. By the way, do you have your old streams of any of your YouTube channels? Twitch only shows 5 or 6 vids. No, I don't. I'm sorry. I have never archived them. So all my previous live streams are lost like tears in the rain. I am so sorry. But I guess that now that I started simulcasting on both YouTube and Twitch, then you will be able to find on YouTube all the recordings, I guess, unless YouTube also starts deleting those. Hey, Ninjatron, Beatwatcher, hello, hello. So it's like NVM or Rust up? Yeah, kinda, although, you know, I don't know all the details about these tools. I would say that Zig Up it works, but it's fairly like basic. For example, I believe that Zig Up will not ask you to like upgrade to root in case it finds out that the target directory doesn't belong to your user. So in other words, if you don't have right permissions to your like the bin folder, and it will just error out instead. I believe that other tools are like more sophisticated than that, and they will instead give you like a fancy thing where they say, "Oh, I need sudo. Give me the password." So yeah, it's fairly basic, but that's kind of the idea. It manages versions of Zig. But the last point is that really Zig is so self-contained that all this thing does is like this. It just downloads archives, puts them somewhere, symlinks stuff. That's all it does, nothing more. I don't know if any of the other languages actually do need more than that. So it might very well be that also Rust up and the other ones end up doing kind of the same. But that's how it is for Zig. Okay. So let's see. Hey, Rocco Rager. Hello, hello. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so Bork start doesn't work. We're getting missing field. Now, step 1 is find out where missing field is coming from. Actually, I would say step 1 is see if we need to pull. Already up to date. Do we build? Do we Zig build? Because I haven't built Bork in a bit, and I've changed version of Zig. It might be that in the meantime, some other things have changed. That's another unfortunate like side effect of being on an unstable language. Things break. But no, it seems that we're fine. Okay, so Bork builds. But we're missing... Wait, let's double check. Now that we have a new executable, do we still get missing field? We do still get missing field. Okay. So this is saying error while renewing Twitch oAuth token. So, so I think that renewing is setting network. There's Twitch or oAuth. Maybe that's what we want. Yep. Okay. So this is where we error out. So authenticate token returns a missing field. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, I think I know what it is. Did I mess up my config file? I probably messed up my config file. That's all there is to it. No, actually, hx config /bork/config.ziggy. Oh yeah, you know what we might be missing? Because I did make some changes, did I not? Token is good. JSON parse from slice. Ignore unknown fields. I think that's where this is coming from. I think we're missing field. We're getting missing field because there's a field here that probably we were getting from Twitch that we are not getting anymore. That's bad. Huh. And unfortunately, using JSON like this does not tell us what's going on. So, let's see. Neurodrees. Hey, nice. Kind of curious about Zig. Are there any bindings for libraries for ML and GUIs? Sure. Keep in mind that everything that works with C also works with Zig. So with Zig, you don't even need bindings. You can just import the C header file directly, and that just works, and you're good. So everything that C can do, Zig can do. As for like other, like let's say maybe more idiomatic bindings, which again, you're still gonna have a pretty decent time using the C API directly. And you have the advantage that you can refer to the original like documentation and it will just work out directly. But in terms of bindings, you will find that there's like EM GUI stuff. There's Raylib also. Raylib not only has, actually, I don't know what's the state of bindings for Raylib, but Raylib has a build.zig. So you can import Raylib as a dependency in your build script and Zig will fetch and build it for you. So I would consider Raylib a good starting point. As for ML, I don't have any specific advice past everything that works in C also works in Zig. What's the inline keyword in Zig? It depends on the context. If you put it in front of a function, it requests inlining of the function from the compiler. But unlike C and other languages, it's not a hint. It's a hard request. So if the compiler is unable to inline your function, that will result in a compile error. You can also use inline in a couple other places, like you can do an inline for loop, and that forces loop unrolling. If you Google for loop unrolling, you will see that it's like an optimization that compilers sometimes can do to increase performance of for loops, where basically they turn, instead of emitting instructions to do the body of the for loop and then jump back, they instead quote unquote copy paste the body of the for loop multiple times. And that can increase performance. And sometimes the compiler doesn't know how to do that, so you can do that manually yourself. In Zig, the inline keyword, it's basically a metaprogramming keyword. It's part of comp time that basically allows you to obtain that behavior in a reliable way without having to do manual copy pasting yourself. Without the manual copy pasting and without the, prayer that the compiler gods will able to figure it out and give you the optimizations. It's like it's a strict guarantee because it's part of the semantics of comp time metaprogramming. Okay, so we need to figure out what changed. And let's see, I don't remember if this stuff is documented or not. So I'm a little bit, I was hoping not to have to print the result body, because I suspect that it contains my token and I don't want to leak my token. But you know what? Maybe I'll try it out. I'll cover my screen and see the contents once just to take a look. So I think there are two options here. One is that we don't recognize that we are getting a failure in our authorization. Maybe my token has expired and I don't recognize that. And that would be unfortunate, because if that's the case, it means that we're getting a 200, like we're getting a 200 status code on the reply, and then inside of it, it's telling us that actually the request failed, which is super annoying. But otherwise, something must have changed in the auth thing. Although, you know what? It's kind of it's low probability that what we get from auth has really changed. So it's probably just that the token is not good and we're not able to recognize this correctly. So you know what? Let me do the printing. I'll do one test. I'll cover my screen. I'll check it out, and I'll be able to tell you more. So std. No, we don't want debug print. We want logging. Log.debug. Auth reply. Actually, don't even need the new line. And we do result.body. Okay, let's see what happened here. So how do we do this? New tab. Zig build. And sometimes don't know when to use inline or when not. If you're not sure, don't use it. Like the rule of thumb is only use inline if you actually need it. If you know that you need it. If you don't need it, then I promise you, you're better off without. Let's see, it's is client fetch from STD? Yep, that's the STD standard library client, HTTP client stuff. Okay, let's try Bork start. Authenticating with Twitch. Error. Perfect. Now everything got logged. I'll cover my screen briefly. Let me go check out my logs. One sec. So I am not getting my message. What is going on? Okay, tail. Let's do tail follow. Am I not getting? I'm not getting log information in here. What? Why am I not getting my error message? Oh, we're not writing to that file. Where are we actually writing? Because this is saying bork.log. Yeah, this file has not been modified today even. Okay, let's see. I have the Bork socket. I have could it be that we haven't set up logging yet at that point? Let me see. I did not, by mistake, put logging into the config folder. I do have a bork.log in my home. Uh-oh. Well, that might explain it. Let's see. When was this file modified? No, that's an old file. Where am I logging? Okay. Let's figure out where are we logging, because I can't see it. So we are using logging. Let's go back to main. In main, we do set up logging. We even use logging for panicking. We do set our own logging function, which I believe. So once we call, so here's how it works, I believe. It defaults to standard error, but after we are able to call the setup function, it will log to cache folder, Bork log. Bork, yeah. Okay, I'm guessing we're not calling setup before, like we're only calling setup after. No, we're calling it right away. What is going on here? Where's my log message? Oh, okay. I just did 2 + 2. We might be just be feigning before that point. So I am assuming that we are able to reach wait a second. Where's my call to log? Did I wait, was I like a was I silly and I did I not? Oh no. Okay, I know what I did. So I have 2 implementations to authenticate token. One is called authenticate token and the other one is called authenticate token native. Native is disabled because only supports TLS 1.3, and we're using another one. We're using the non-native. We are basically shelling out to curl because we don't have TLS 1.2 support. That's what's going on. Okay, so now I place the thing in the correct position. Now we build, and now, oh, and now maybe we get an error. Let's see, no field name body instruct run result. Oh, right, because it's a sub process. So in this case, we're accessing the studio out. Okay, that explains a few things. Okay, let me catch up with messages. Let's see. I'm frozen. What the heck? Wait, where am I frozen? I think, no, I'm not frozen on my end. I think am I frozen on YouTube? For real? Let's see. No, I am not frozen on YouTube on my end either. I would refresh the page if I were you. Okay, run the code, and now I think we're gonna get actual errors. So sorry, let me full screen my camera. And let's see what's wrong. There we go. Oh yeah. Okay, I can show you. God damn it, dude. So we're getting a successful status code, successful HTTP status code, and then we're getting a 401 inside freaking JSON. Man, if only there was a place where to put 401. I wonder what 401 is supposed to mean. God damn it. Okay, well, we figured out what happened. So that's unfortunate because it means that in reality, what we get back is not you know, a auth struct. It's like a union of two possible structs. And that's annoyingly dynamic because there's nothing to tell us which case it is. You have to do like shape matching, right? Oh, you see a status field, then you are in one case. Oh, you see like a login field, or you are in the other case. And that's super annoying. I think that's like huge issue with how like certain APIs are designed that are particularly annoying from static programming languages. But the point is not like the problem here is not just that, oh no, I have a static programming language and it's cumbersome for me to express this type, and if you're a dynamic language then it's just easier, and I'm just complaining because my choice of language makes it harder for me. Maybe that's also some of it, but the core point is that in a statically typed compiled programming language, you can get optimizations out of this. If you know the shape of the data, you can avoid dynamic allocation. But these APIs don't even they don't even account for that possibility, right? They are too busy stuffing HTTP error codes inside of JSON. So here's what I will do. It's annoying, but what I will do is instead I'll catch this error. I will log it. Although, you know what? It's probably not a good idea to log it since it contains potentially in stuff that you wouldn't want to log. So I'll just catch the error and I'll return token expired. Let's leave a comment here. Note. We're considering a parsing error. We're considering. Okay, let's change this slightly. A parsing error means token expired for us. This Twitch likes to do instead of using HTTP correctly. Yeah, well, let's say HTTP status codes correctly. Sad face. Well, I would say that's like good enough of an explanation, I guess. Okay, so let's see where this leads us. So in theory, this should now trigger the you need to update your token stuff. There we go. So I'll copy this. Actually, I could probably, let me see, Shift Control click. Oh, come on, Mitchell. Come on, Mitchell. Shift Control. No, Shift Command. Oh man. Well, I guess it just doesn't work. Oh, I'm straight up logged out. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do the full authentication thing. Hey, Solalicious. Hello, hello. Wrap it in a tagged union. The problem is that even if you wrap it in a tagged union, it's not going to work. Like if you try to feed a tagged union to the standard library JSON parser, it will not work. As far as I know. Well, that's cringe. Bad URI. Why are things changing? And I'm also leaking my token. But why are things changing? An error occurred while waiting for the auth flow to complete. Bad URI. So now we have well, a local link that we can hit. But why is it returning bad URI? So this is part of my auth cycle because we start a server that waits for token. Where am I getting bad URI? So this is... Okay, starts with query slash question mark. Bad URI. So this is sending us to a... Oh no, I get what happened. So this should have sent us to a page that where some JavaScript flips around everything. Why am I getting this? So let me start it again. And let me hit this again. Oh, now it works. Oh, that's annoying. Huh. Okay. That is interesting. So there's only one issue here. There's only one issue. The issue is that I need to reset this token so that people cannot use it. People who aren't me. Okay. So now it should tell me that I'm not logged in. Let me do the authentication stuff with the screen covered. Sorry. Okay, I worked first try. I wonder what went wrong the last time. There you go. Okay. Anybody on Twitch? Mind trying out Bork if it works? It works. Success. Okay. So YouTube, I'm sorry. Is this stream archived? I think so. I don't think that's a setting. Yeah. It's the enable DVR stuff, right? Yeah, it's totally archived on YouTube. It's archived also on Twitch, but it's gonna disappear on Twitch. Like it's archived for like a week on Twitch. Okay, so we are back and running with Twitch. Time to work on YouTube. So YouTube is going to be much more chill because YouTube it's like read only. So at least as a starting point, we're going to start with emoji support, emoji, yes, but also emote. Although not animated emote. Sorry, that fancy kappa that you have there, that one doesn't work yet. Although, if Mitchell implements support for animation, so what I'm using here is Ghosty. It's the terminal emulator that Mitchell Hashimoto is working on, written in Zig, which is super cool, but it's a new project. So, for example, he was kind enough to already implement the Kitty Graphics API, the Kitty Graphics protocol, but I believe he has not implemented animations yet. In any case, I haven't implemented animations on my end either in Bork, so there's some more work that needs to be done before we get there. Okay, so now that we got this stuff up and running, let's try to get something basic working with YouTube. By the way, YouTube has a pretty disgusting API, because what happens with YouTube is that what you get is an endpoint that you need to poll, and they tell you that you cannot poll it too often. They tell you that like there's, long story short, there's like a delay. There's like a built-in chat delay in YouTube, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it kind of is, yeah. The problem is that we'll see now how often we are allowed to poll that endpoint. But the problem is that at its core, it's like it's not meant to be real time. Like if you look at Twitch chat, it's pretty snappy. Depending where you are, you might be delayed. Like you might receive the video stream slightly delayed. Some won't. For some, it's gonna be super snappy. But Twitch chat itself, it's very reactive, very responsive. And Google, you know, people like to think of Google as, oh my god, like, oh, you like computers. Oh, when you grow up, you're gonna work at Google. People used to think about Google that way. No, it's an ad company, and they can't even pull off decent chat. I'm sorry. Like, if Twitch can do it, man, then you guys can too, if you put your mind to it. Isn't Twitch chat using the IRC protocol? Yes, it is. 100%. Google could have done the same thing. Although, to be honest, I don't think it's necessarily like... I don't think that protocol is doing much of a difference. Although, you could probably argue that whatever Google is doing might be more bulky inherently, and so that's why chat has to work in a different way. But in any case, like they could have done it. I don't know why they haven't. Like they want to compete against Twitch, at least to some degree, and like chat responsiveness is a core part of live streams. Like you want to interact with chat, and you don't want that to be laggy. I don't know, man. You know what, though? Maybe this is me with my small-time streamer mindset. Of course, if you're one of those streamers that has like 5,000 people in chat, then obviously, like chat becomes like a stream of weird consciousness, and at that point, delays matter less. So maybe that's the use case that Google is optimizing for. Still, I don't know, kind of weak. Does Bork speak IRC? Then, or is there a separate API that you're using? Bork does speak IRC. In my network Twitch, I have a IRC parser that parses IRC v3 messages. I open a TCP connection, send login and join commands, and then start receiving a bunch of these messages, and I have my own parser for it, and I parse those. So I guess, I don't know. Well, I was about to say, if you ever need an IRC v3 parser, here's one, but I suspect that you already implemented one for your use case. So, yep. Okay, let's continue this. So, for example, here I was already. So this application that you're seeing, Bruno, is the new. So this is the new Postman. Or actually, I would say, no, this is the new Insomnia, which used to be the new Postman. So this is like an HTTP client that makes HTTP requests. And it has a bunch of like options so that you can basically click around. It's more nice to explore APIs than what it would take to do the exploration by coding a program yourself. The problem is that the one that like started this trend, as far as I know at least, was Postman. Problem is, Postman started as a nice application. It was free, it was open source. Then now there's a pricing thing. It was, I don't know, bought by somebody. In any case, Postman enshittified hard. And so people escaped from Postman to Insomnia. And Insomnia was the alternative. Open source, no fuss, no weird shit. Then Insomnia got bought by Kong. Who, you know, I mean, usual story. Yeah, we're a company, we're trying to support open source, blah, blah, blah. We love open source. And then Insomnia enshittified itself. So now there's pricing and a bunch of completely useless garbage. Also, it used to look better. Like Insomnia used to look pretty damn good. Not as good looking anymore. So now Bruno. So I guess the idea is, well, use Bruno for as long as it lasts, I guess. I'm looking forward to see what comes next after Bruno in this endless cycle of enshittification. It's like, it's the circle of life, but it's enshittification. Okay, so let me run this request. Oh no, I'm logged out. That's annoying. That is indeed annoying. Okay, I guess we can use this workflow. So the annoying part is that I don't have a server that can listen for stuff, but I can do this, I guess. I can copy this. Match around function. So let's see. So wait for token, opens port here, reuse, TCP server the init, accept, init server. Oh, I suspect, Okay, in our case, this is easier than with Twitch. So here's what we can do. Let's print request dot head dot target. And then we simply exit. Okay, let's see how this is gonna work. We start main, start an HTTP client, try to open token. Like, by the way, this is like simplified. I just want to make the thing work, and then I'm gonna integrate it back into Bork. Integrating it into Bork is gonna be more complicated because it kind of requires making sure that this workflow integrates properly with the Bork workflow. And also after that, we will need to also make YouTube chat messages work with Bork messages. And Bork messages up until now were basically modeled after Twitch messages, but now it's different. So we will need to find like a way of making it work. So in any case, we try to do this, click the link. So instead of this, instead of exit 1, we can wait for token. There you go. So if the file is missing, we wait for token. And then in theory, we should, well, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't break it right away. We should write that file. So, by the way, Zig doesn't allow shadowing, but you can use token inside of a block that is part of the definition of token, because token, like the outer token, doesn't exist yet until this stuff is done. So you can internally shadow it. And in this case, it's not that interesting, but it becomes more interesting when you're trying to do const foo. And then inside of the initialization block, you want to mutate it. So you can do var foo, and then you can do foo.var equals 1, whatever, and then you break BLK with foo. And this is basically assigning this foo here to this foo here. And so like you basically, for complex initialization where a thing cannot be const right away, you keep it var inside a block, do some stuff, and then send it back to being const. Banger chiptunes, thank you. It's a chiptune radio that I'm listening to on YouTube. And it tends to have pretty decent music. Yeah, I like it too. Okay, so we grab the token, and I guess we write it to token.secret. So again, this is like super simplified as a starting point. CWD dot. So create file, yeah. Token.secret. We need to figure out the flags. So go to definition, Let's see, truncate. It's good. Truncate. If the file already exists and it is a regular file and the access mode allows writing, it will be truncated to length 0. I guess we want to truncate. So create file. Hey Ben, hello. I'm YouTubing. So yeah, I'm dual streaming both Twitch and YouTube. I'm simulcasting, and I'm trying to add YouTube chat support to Bork. It's time. We are at that point of the platform life cycle. So token secret, and then we do truncate. It was true. It was truncate, right? Yeah, truncate. Okay. So also defer after close. And we just write there the token straight up. That's it. And then we can break with token. That's it. Okay. So with this, we got the stuff working in theory. Forgot try. You are right. Right. So we have the token, and then I guess we can send another request. I think I never tried this stuff down here, but I guess that's what we will have to make work next. So now here, for now, I just want to wait for token to print the path, like the answer that we get from Twitch, and exit, call it a day. But that's just temporary. I just want to watch it succeed once and see what happens. Oh, let's see. Unused local constants. Oh, yeah. Okay, next problem. Actually, I could have figured out that I had errors before. So what's the problem here? Local variable is never mutated. Okay. Doesn't ZLS automatically autofix unused vars? Yeah, it does. I just keep it disabled. I don't like it. I don't like the feature, so I'm keeping it off. Because the problem is that while on one hand it's annoying when you have to fix an unused variable, on the other hand it's super annoying when you by mistake commit one of those things. So you know, it's kind of embarrassing when you're like sending a patch to Andrew for the Zig compiler and it's like an unused escape. So I don't like it. Also because occasionally like the idea is that when the unused escape, when the unused variable escape stays there, that's a symptom of a bug because you forgot to wire something where it should go. So I want the hard error in that sense. Yeah, they do have the autofix stuff, but I mean, I'm not saying that it's necessarily, you know, inherently wrong. It's just that for the type of stuff that I do, like you're in a huge file, you're editing one line, but you know, there's like kind of a complicated workflow. I strictly prefer the hard error over any other option because I don't want, like, it's error prone otherwise, and I just want to avoid the error at all costs. Okay, we were expecting 3 arguments, but we found 2. This guy probably also wants some options, and we did not give those to it. So he wants file path, and then he wants max bytes. Right, I don't know. 1 kilobyte. In any case, it's just a token, so always gonna be small. Let's see. Expected error union type found U8. Oh, I have both try and catch. Right. Okay, are we good now? Let's see. Switch must handle all possibilities. Line 22. Okay. Yeah, in any case, I'm not doing good error handling because I'm trying to make this work. I basically want to get to a point where I can start getting messages streaming into the application, and then I'll move stuff into Bork. Let's see. No field of member function named write all in error something something. I'm forgetting a bunch of tries. Okay. Okay, let's see. Expected 3 arguments, found 2 again. Alloc print. Well, yeah, where's the allocator? Any more? Let's see. Expected type array list, found const array list. Buff. Must be mutable. Expected 2 arguments, bed reply. Okay. Man, we're getting there at some point. Just expected type const u8 found something else. Right, because it's status. Oh, status dot lifecycle status. No active live. Okay, we're getting there. Man, as I said, this code was never tested because I wrote some of it and then I moved to this application. Also, let's move token to secret. Clicky clicky. To amino related annoyance when using catch switch with readers is that the else prong must be reachable. So when checking for end of stream, you can't use else with stdio fix buffer stream. So you have to use if. When using catch switch with readers, the else prong must be reachable. So I think that what you're referring to are maybe type erased readers. So like if you're using any reader, then yes, those readers have like a type erased error set. But if you're using a non-type erased reader, like if you're using a specific reader, then those will not be type erased, and you can be more precise. Also, if you, I don't know if I would recommend this, or rather to what point, you decide, but even if you type erase the error set of a reader, so if you use an any reader, but you know that there's only the only errors that you need to handle are the other errors that you have already that you are already handling explicitly in different branches, you can do else unreachable if you want. Obviously, you need to be careful because you decided to throw out the window all the error tracking because you're using a type erased error set. So I would say it's like it's a code smell, as some people would say, but you can do it. That's a downside of any like type erased readers. personally, I think that the issue is that read no oAuth returns end of stream void, so you can't have an else prong in the catch. Okay, you know what? You might be talking about an error that I'm not exactly clear on the details of. Access blocked. This app's request is invalid. You can't sign in because this app sent a invalid request. You can try again later. Oh no. Oh, that might be on me. I might have forgot to update this link with the latest and greatest stuff. Let me double check. So first of all, this needs to be 22.890. Okay, let's go into my YouTube admin panel thing. Where's the admin panel? Okay, this is just an error message. There you go. Refresh. So I want to use this flow. Yeah. Okay, I think I already said that correctly. Response type token scope. Oh god, what am I doing wrong now? That said, we do want to modify this because I want to modify the port. Yeah, no problem. No problem. By the way, when I do these streams is specifically 127. Yeah, but 127 is also set here. I think I got the error for other reasons, not because of that. So we'll figure it out now in a moment. Like we didn't get an error in the second phase of the thing, and I think we would have gotten that error. Like we would have gotten a different error. This error is strictly because Google doesn't like this URL here. Like it's basically saying that I have a malformed URL here. I don't know why. Oh, no, you know what? Maybe you're right. Redirect URI mismatch. Maybe that's what it is. Although... Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't know what the error was before, but did I not update it? Oh, I failed to save. That's why. I got the wrong link. Yeah. One was localhost. No, this one is always 127. 127. I am starting the web server on localhost, but I'm, banking on the fact that the two things should be equivalent. Let's see. Okay, let's see what happened now. 22.890. Oh, you know what? It might be. I think I know what it is. I bet you that this needs to be HTTPS. No, it does not need to be HTTPS. Actually, I do not want HTTPS now that I think about it. Okay, you know what? I think I have a good URL in here. Although it's not updated because this one has response type code still, but I do want response type token. Okay, let me try copying this. Yeah, it still doesn't like it. Redirect URI mismatch. But... So it's 68 HV, and this one does... Oh. There you go. That's where the S was. Still not liking it. Come on. Okay, let me double check a couple more things. 68H. 68H, yes, that's the correct thing. HTTP 127.0.0.1 22.890. 22.890. Yep. Let me see also the other one, because this guy also was working. Actually, I made both work. Oh wait, this one doesn't have that mechanism. What? It may take 5 minutes to a few hours for settings to take effect. Oh no. Is this what I'm... Is this it? Oh no. Oh shit. Oh, okay. Now I get it. Oh my god. Sorry guys. Okay, now I get it. That one, this one is localhost. Oh, okay. Now I get it. I kept looking at it and never reading what it said. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Okay, let's see. Oh my god. I am so sorry. Yeah, now it works. Thank you. Let's this is working. Yeah, this is running. Okay, so make sure you trust Bork. Yeah. Come on. God damn it. Why does it complain about that at that point? Oh, I also haven't saved. Why does it complain at that point? I don't get it. Okay, localhost 22. HTTP, not HTTPS. Hey, Nokodoko. Let's go. Recursive Gecko. Haven't been following the project, so I'm curious, what are you using in place of Zig Async now? I just have a couple of threads running. I have like one thread for UI updates, one thread for network updates. If I have to be honest, Bork didn't really lose much by switching off of async, because it has a very simple like internal workflow. Okay, so now we're good. Okay, and it didn't print any of the query. Oh, I was so close to say, holy cow, this is so much nicer. But guess what? They also are putting the access token in a fragment. So by putting the access token in a fragment, I need to do the thing where I send you to a page where there's a question mark, where the fragment gets turned into a query, and only then the web server can see the query. It's so annoying. Let's see. John White on YouTube. Any date on 0.12 yet? 0.12, couple of weeks. Well, actually, I don't know if a couple of weeks, but like some other weeks. Soon, very soon. It's coming. That's nasty. Oh yeah, that's nasty. Well, you know what? What's funny is that they put this extra hurdle there on purpose, and then, but it's still not airtight, right? If they wanted to completely prevent the use case, they couldn't, because it works, but also because like there's a ton of things that work that way. Like every single time a tool tells you, yeah, go log in on that website and then return once it's done. You know, apps do it in all places. Like OBS does it when it wants you to log on Twitch or YouTube or whatever. They all have to use this trick. They all have to turn the fragment into something else. It sucks. It really sucks. So how do we make this happen? We can copy these files from Bork. Bork has these files precisely for this reason. Let's see. Where do we do this stuff? Under request, we look at query. Oh, if it's just a query, then we send text HTML, collect fragment HTML, which is this file. Oh, come on. So my HTML file says success. Click here if your browser doesn't redirect you automatically. Takes the hash, turns it into a query, redirects you there. Actually, I'm not sure if these links work, if the link works implemented this way. But in any case, the JavaScript works. So I guess that's what we can do. Well, I guess we want to use this one-to-one. It's like it's the same exact thing. How are we doing this? Yeah, we're looking for something that says access token. Okay, it's the same exact thing. I guess that's the good news. The good news is that the same janky stuff that we do for Twitch also works for YouTube. So that's good. I'm gonna copy this over to my thing in the meantime, in any case. Okay. So in theory, this should produce the token. Maybe we can print it once we get here. Okay, let's see how far we get now. Expected one thing, found the other. Okay, I'm not gonna do the full oAuth thing because we already done the first part. So we're basically just ready for the local redirect. Let's see if we can. I'm gonna even copy it so we can do it multiple times. So success, you can now return to Bork. And memcopy arguments have non-equal lengths. Whoops. yt.zig 134. Oh, their tokens have different length? That is indeed interesting. So with Twitch, I basically hard-coded a 30 character length token, I guess, apparently. So that's not how it is, evidently. I mean, fine. I guess we don't need to do this. We can... yeah. Yeah, no need for this. I guess we can copy it, like we can heap allocate it, whatever. So what we can do is, I think we can do we have an allocator in here? No, we don't. Oh, that's probably also why I didn't do this stuff, because I don't have an allocator in here. Well, now we're gonna need one. We just duplicate the string. And that's kind of it. Well, we need to pass this thing down. So handle request needs the allocator. And actually, GPA should be the first argument. So that's one thing. And then also main, this should be GPA impl. Actually, you know what? Let's use ZLS. So space rename GPA impl, and then we also have GPA as an allocator. Okay, and we want to pass that to, you know what, actually that doesn't really matter much, but whatever. We pass this down to wait for token, I believe, and then wait for token. Wait for token gives it to handle request. Okay, what's the next error? Main copy access token. We don't main copy anything anymore. Okay, let's see. Member parsing expected to arguments found 1. What's the problem? Oh, you want the type. Okay. Right. There you go. So much for the April 2 deadline for 0.12. You know that Zig releases are done when they're done. So anyone can just use one large buffer. Yeah, you could, but at this point, might just go with the more like flexible solution. In this case, this thing should happen only once for execution of Bork. So I think that the old version with the global variable was, I made it, and I made it out of laziness more than anything else. It was fine. It was totally fine. It's just like now it's a choice that has implications because I'm adding support for another platform. Previously, it was an inconsequential choice. It's fine. It's part of life. Okay, let's see. Expected type. Blah, 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 blah. Found error out of memory. U8. Are we not allowed to error out from handle request? Yes, we are. What's the problem, dude? What is your problem, dude? Wait. Error union optional. Oh, I see. I think the problem is that this is an error union that doesn't return an optional thing. So I think we need to try. It's the only way to make coercion work. I don't know. Yeah, it is a missing try. But as you can see, it's something like, in theory, Zig, if it wanted, it could make coercion work. It just decided not to. In any case, let's do this again. And now we got the token. Okay, and it says no active live. Well, that's bad. No, actually, there should be some active live. Come on, man. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy this token, and I'm gonna use it in Bruno. And let's see what Bruno has to say about this. Not this one. Live broadcast. Headers, auth. Okay. Total results 6. Published at. This is today's stream. Why doesn't it say that I don't have anything live? Because it should say status, lifecycle status live. Oh, you know what? I think I assumed that this would have been active. Instead, it's live. It's just like a string comparison that fails. Yeah. Okay, so this finds a live. Okay, we are basically I think we're basically able to get here successfully. So the next step is to we have identified a active live stream on YouTube. We actually don't know if it's necessarily what we want, because if somebody has multiple lives active at the same time. But you know what? As a starting point, that's fine. Next step is the live chat endpoint stuff. So let's go find that delicious API. Live broadcasts list, oAuth, live chat messages, overview. That's the API that we want. Insert, delete. Don't really care much about those right now. Do care about list. Okay, list live chat messages for a specific chat. When you make your first request to retrieve chat messages, the API returns some or all of the chat history, depending on the length of that history. Messages in the response are ordered from oldest to newest. Next page token in the response provides a token that in your next request will identify the next set of results that your API client should retrieve. Polling interval millis property indicates how long your API client should wait before requesting additional results. Let's hope that this value is not too big. Okay, let's see. Common use cases. Parameters, live chat ID. The ID of the chat message will return. The live chat ID associated with the broadcast is returned in the live broadcast resources snippet live chat ID property. Oh god, so the live chat ID is not the same ID as the video. Oh yeah, look at this. So we need to grab this. I previously was thinking that I would need the video ID. No, you need something different. Live chat ID. Okay. So let's go grab that. So in snippet, we were grabbing channel and title, and now we need to grab live chat ID. And that is what we want. So we don't want ID, but we want l.snippet.live chat ID. I guess we can call it chat ID. Okay. So endpoint. This guy. Okay, what do we add? Live chat ID part. The part parameter specifies the live chat message resource parts that the API response will include. Supported values are ID, snippet, author details. Oh, Jesus Christ. Optional parameters. HL restricts the API to retrieve a localized currency display string for a specific application language that the website supports. For example, in English, currency would be displayed. Okay. Max results. Acceptable values are 200 to 2000 inclusive. The default value is 500. Age token. Profile image size. Well, I don't think we're gonna show profile images. So, okay. I guess we can basically hard code part, given to what we want. Although there's gonna be two places. Okay, we need to make this a format string. So, question mark, part. Part is gonna be, I don't know, ID and snippet as a starting point. Then live chat ID and age token. Wait, is it live? Can I set it to an initial value? Oh, don't tell me. Can I set it to an empty string? It's a string. Okay, let's see if we can set it to an empty string because, oh man. Yeah, actually, how do you set it to an empty string? Well, you know what? I guess I'll need to format it in two different ways. Like, I don't know if I can leave that property there and give it that initial value that works for the first request. In any case, we have the chat ID, so I guess what we can do in a while true. Actually, do we know how they are gonna use, how this client is going to use a array list? Is it gonna reset it for us every single time, or will it not? I guess we can just try and see what happens, basically. Okay. So YouTube fetch. YouTube fetch URL. So I guess we can create like a URL buff or something. Or yeah, whatever, that's fine. Or it could be an entire buffer dedicated to doing all of this stuff. Nah, whatever. Let's do it for like this for now. Okay, so every loop we need to, let me think about it for a moment. How do we want to do this? Try. Let's go live chat URL. Okay, live chat URL. So how do we set it? Okay, let's see if it works. Const var page. Okay, so we write this. Pass it down here. Technically, this could be improved because you actually only want to reprint the token. Everything else you want to keep the same, but whatever. Method get. Where do we put this stuff? So we have this outer buffer here. Whatever. Let's keep using this for now. Blah blah blah. Extra headers. Authorization bearer. Bad reply. Otherwise, I guess we print what we get. Yeah, like this. But then we need to sleep, right? So we don't know how much we're gonna be told to sleep. But we can do some nice sleep ourselves. We can sleep like for 1 full second or like 5 seconds. So we can do that. nanoseconds. Oh my god. So that's gonna be, let's do 5 times 10 nanosecond per second. Okay, so there should be 5 seconds slip. Now, what I suspect is that the problem is that this guy needs URL buff needs to be reset. Oh, first of all, we're not even setting page. Oh, that's bad. So we kind of need to parse the answer. Can we? Should we not? Huh? Okay, so we print everything, but then we need to parse it. Okay, that's annoying, but you gotta do what you gotta do. We need to do something like this. Messages, const messages, struct. What do we have in there? So response, kind, I don't care. E-tag, the E-tag, the fuck is an E-tag? Whatever. Next page token, we do care. Calling interval millis, we do care. Offline at. The date and time when the underlying stream went offline. This property is only present if the stream is already offline. Okay, so I guess we can use that as a thing that tells us to stop polling, I guess. So, okay, let's add some of this stuff. So, next page token, then offline at. It's an optional consuate. One defaults to null, not always present. Calling interval millis. Unsigned integer usize. It says offline at is a datetime. Edit datetime. What? Am I breaking everybody's YouTube API? What is the meaning of this feature? I don't get it, but fine. Also, what the heck is a datetime? So that's a string in the shape of a datetime. Page info, total results, results per page, and then items. Okay. Yeah, that might be the format, but it is a string. I find it funny that they consider it. No, it's not consuate, it's const something. Channel message, I guess. I just find it funny that they treat it as a different type. Okay, errors, rate limit exceeded, blah, blah, blah. Okay, tell me what you got there. Resource representation. Type, live chat ID, author channel ID, published at. Has display content. Display message. Funding event details. Okay, oof. Text message. For now, let's just do, I guess, text message details. Like, let's do username and text message as a starting point. Text message details, message text. Okay. Message deleted details, user banned details, member milestone, super chat details. So yeah, we're gonna need also all support for all these things. Author details, display name. Oh, I bet you that we don't get author. Wait, do we not get anything from the author? Channel ID. Okay, you only get the channel ID from the author. Display message. Wait, okay, I'm gonna need to read some of these. Snippet type. Okay, live chat ID, author channel ID. Published at. Display message contains a string that is displayed to users. This field is not present if a message type is chat ended event or tombstone. Okay. Funding event details. Note, this object and its child properties have been deprecated. Live chat message results, we no longer return this stuff. Deprecated. Okay, funding doesn't exist anymore. I guess because this stuff has been turned into super chats. There have been some comments on YouTube. Let's see. How does the new compilation backend beat LLVM when it comes to async, and will it be open source? I foresee a world where languages that compile to C normally will benefit from this. How does the new compilation backend beat LLVM when it comes to async? For now, it doesn't, because async is not even in the language. It's not even back into the language yet. So as far as I know, so first of all, I have some knowledge, some insight on the problem, but I don't have, complete insight. The people who do have complete insight are the ones doing the actual compiler backend work. I'm not one of those people, but I can say with a decent level of confidence that LLVM was bad at optimizing Zig async because it didn't give you tools like functions like callbacks, because that's basically like building blocks to express what you need to express for an async frame Zig style. To make a long story short, I think the crux of the problem is that in general, whenever your compiler is emitting machine code for a function frame, so not async, just a normal function frame, there's one key thing that the compiler does, which is an optimization where in your function you have variable A and then variable B. But if these two variables never have to exist at the same time, then basically what ends up happening is that the memory for variable B is going to be the memory for variable A that gets reutilized. So instead of having the function frame have to be two variables big, let's say that they are like, I don't know, numbers, U size, right? Instead of that thing being 16 bytes, it can be only 8 bytes, because first you use those 8 bytes for A, do some stuff to it, and then when B comes into play, A is not needed anymore, and so you can use the same memory. That's kind of the core point. Now, the problem with async is that you want to do the same thing, but an async functional frame is a little bit more complicated. You have suspension points, and it's a slightly different beast. And the problem was that LLVM was not able to perform that optimization that I just mentioned on those function frames, partially because LLVM assumed that if you wanted to do async, you would do it with some other features that LLVM exposes that, unfortunately, according to Andrew, are just not good enough. They don't match well. They don't map well to the Zig async model. So, would the native compilation backend beat LLVM when it comes to async? In a sense, today, no. In the future, if async comes back to Zig, ideally, yes. Partially because the specific model that Zig uses is not a good fit for LLVM. So from that perspective, yes. That said, it should also be noted that the Zig, our custom backends right now are only meant for debug builds. They are not meant to replace LLVM for release builds yet. The idea is to get there eventually, but you will not be able to have competitive release builds from the Zig backend right off the bat. Like it's a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to be something for the future, being able to be competitive with LLVM, ideally. So right now, the like short-term goal is to be able to get rid of LLVM when doing debug builds, and so that we can be much faster. And the idea is that if we can be faster also at developing the compiler itself, because right now compiling the compiler takes a little bit, and it would, and if that if you can tighten that feedback loop, then you can iterate on the compiler itself faster, and that lands you, and that gets you to being able to compete against LVM quicker than you would be able to otherwise. So that's the idea. As for other languages being able to take advantage of that, I think that some of it is, yeah, sure, it's going to be true. But I don't see Zig necessarily be able to become, a backend used by multiple languages, just like LVM is, because Zig is going to do what makes sense for Zig. And if your language is very similar to Zig, then whatever Zig does will make sense for you too. But if your language is not going to be exactly Zig, then stuff will not match well. Just like LVM didn't have a model of async that matched well with what Zig wants to do, the same problem will probably happen if you have a language that's different from Zig that tries to use Zig as a backend. So what I would say is maybe some of it will be true, but like manage your expectations, because I'm sure that LVM puts a lot of effort into being a backend that can work for multiple languages. I think that the reality is that the project clearly prioritizes C and C++, and that's where it models itself. What it models is us. Actually, I should say just C++. C++. That's its main like use case. So not to say that LVM is like universally perfect either, but in any case, given the manpower that Zig has and the aim of the project, be aware, number one goal is to get Zig to a good position, not necessarily to, build some kind of universal thing. There's always downsides that come from big and universal things. Does new HTTP API in Zig 0.12 support non-blocking? No. Or rather, Zig in the standard library has bindings for all the common non-blocking systems that there's IO-URING, there's epoll, there's key K event, KQ. So all these things have bindings in the Zig standard library, but the work to make that happen in a non-blocking way still will have to be done manually by you. Like you need to open your sockets in non-blocking mode. You need to set up IO-URING or whatever you want to send you notifications, etc., etc. So some of the building blocks are there, but it's not. Zig right now is not yet in a position where the standard library can give you, a smooth, high quality, no fuzz web development experience. We're not there yet. We can do web stuff, like Bork is a webby thing if you think about it at the end of the way, but it's not yet. We're not yet, at the level of polish of Go, for example. That said, if anybody wants to do some web thing with Zig, again, let me stress this once more. If you're trying to look into Zig and you want to learn Zig, don't do web stuff. Web stuff is not going to be interesting in Zig. Web stuff is kind of boring in and itself. Like what's interesting about the web stuff is the non-tech part. When you're doing web stuff, all you're doing is, in more or less convoluted ways, is creating interesting content. And what makes or breaks this is there anything interesting to say in your blog? Do you have an interesting event that you want to create a homepage for? Are you writing something that is technological? Sure, but interesting in on itself, and that it happens to need a website. This is my static website generator. Or check this out also. This is my JSON replacement. I wrote a JSON replacement, and all these websites that I'm showing you, well, not all. The conference one is still Hugo, but this one and the previous one were all generated using my static site generator. That has been the main thing that I've been working on lately. So the content is what makes web dev interesting. Web dev itself, it's boring as fuck. Keep that in mind. So if you're trying to look into Zig, don't aim to do web stuff with it. Write a CLI tool, do some actual programming, Try to write, I don't know, an interpreter, a tiny virtual machine, make a game, do some real software. Web dev is boring as fuck, and the Zig ecosystem is not exactly quite there yet. So basically, if you come into Zig thinking that it's gonna be, you know, the new and hot way of doing pretty much what you were doing already, no, you're completely missing the point. That said, if you use Zig, start appreciating Zig for actually the good reasons. So like, as an actual programming language to do actual programming. Then if you happen to also need to do web dev, and like now you're into the Zig ecosystem and you don't want to get out of it, then try out this. Try out Zig Zap. But again, if you just want to make a web service, just use Go. Like, Go is plenty good. If your goal is just to make the web server. Although I have to admit that switching back to Go from Zig, kind of painful for certain things. Some things good, for some others a little bit painful. In any case, try Zig Zap. Zig Zap, it's a pretty decent way of getting started. But again, this is not a way for you to really appreciate what's interesting about Zig. Web services are boring. Do stuff that requires a higher degree of control over what you're doing, over how your application behaves. That's when you will see Zig shine. This is where you will actually understand what is the point. Why is it worth using a lower level programming language? If you're just doing web stuff, you're gonna miss the point. You're not gonna be able to appreciate what Zig gives you. Let's see. Thank you for the comment. That was wonderfully explained. Thank you. It made great sense. So one use case I thought of was using Zig C on languages that compile to C source, like NIM and Mercury. Yep. You should be able to totally do that. Oh, I should also point out that what I'm about to say doesn't necessarily play into the use case that you were presenting, but just as a data point for the people watching. Zig has a C backend that works pretty well. So you can compile Zig to C. I guess some people would say transpiling. You can transpile Zig source code to C, and it works. We actually use it in our bootstrapping process. Bootstrapping is the process of going from I don't have a Zig compiler to I have a Zig compiler. When a language is like new, or like when the compiler is written in like C or C++, that's easy. You have a C or C++ compiler, compile the Zig compiler, and now you're good. But our compiler is written in Zig. So to get the Zig compiler, you need a Zig compiler. And that's what bootstrapping solves. How mature is the Zig to C transpiler? It's mature enough that, as I said, that we can use it for bootstrapping. So I don't know exactly where it is in terms of behavior tests passing, but last I heard it was 99%, something like that. By now it either is at 100% or whatever remains, it's like some I don't know, peculiar corner case. So if it's good enough for the Zig compiler, I would say it's good enough for general usage. That said, keep in mind that you will need to, your C compiler, you might need to pass in some special flags, because what Zig will output is like one chunky boy C file, one pretty chunky C file with also a lot of nesting. And so I think you will need to pass extra flags to the compiler to make it accept some, a single C file that is that complicated. Just for clarity, the reason why, like one of the reasons why this is a thing, why the Zig compiler is also able to output C, like, or rather, let's just say one use case is because, for example, some people working in game dev who develop games for platforms such as the PlayStation, the Xbox, Nintendo, whatever, like all these console devices, the companies that produce these things, they tend to have their own fork of Clang that they know works well for their platform. and they will tell people that they have to use that compiler, otherwise they will not be able to receive support. So basically they will only answer to, I guess, tickets where something goes out of whack in the compilation process, or well, in the final executable, in the way the executable runs on the machine, only if the executable was generated through their toolchain. So that is kind of shitty if you think about it. It's kind of annoying. But on the other hand, you know, these are custom architectures, bugs happen. So maybe when they encounter a hardware bug, they patch the compiler so that to make sure that the compiler never stresses that buggy thing. So I guess that's also annoying but reasonable. And so what you can do is, like, if you have something written in Zig, you can transpile it to C and then feed that C to your platform specific C compiler, and so then you can still get support from the company that make consoles and stuff. And to Clang C specifically. Wait, are you talking about what Zig outputs? Are you saying that it's specific to Clang? I'm actually not sure. By the way, it might be, and it might just be that I'm not aware of anything specific that we output. But I don't think it would necessarily have to be specific to Clang. The type of C that we can ingest from Zig C is specific to Clang because Zig wraps the Clang compiler. So if you are using, I don't know, GNU or MSVC custom extensions, then yes, those will not work with Zig C. But I don't know if Zig, if the C backend outputs any C that is particularly non-portable. I would actually be surprised if it does. Does Zig's C compilation even when it comes to LVM make any optimizations, checks, or otherwise contain any feature that might make it competitive to Clang or GCC at the moment? Zig's C compilation is Clang at its core. So at its core, it is competitive with Clang because it is Clang. More specifically, it's so here's how it works. Zig, when it comes to compiling C code, Zig wraps Clang itself. But before getting to Clang, there are actually some stuff that happens. First of all, there's a ton of work to make cross-compilation work. So cross-compilation will not work with Clang out of the box. You will have to do a ton of work to get that working. Zig does that for you. Second point, Zig defaults to a different configuration. Like, it has different defaults than Clang. And Zig's defaults are a little bit more, like, let's say, restrictive slash let's just say tighter defaults. So if you invoke Clang directly on a C file and then you invoke Zig CC on a C file, for example, what Zig gives you out of the box is that the compilation, like the executable that comes out of just calling Zig CC on a C file, will be for the native target. So it will use all and every single extra instruction set that your system supports. Clang, I believe, will not out of the box. You have to explicitly add support for any extra instruction set that you want to support. Because for Zig, the default build is maximally optimized for the current system. And if you want to make like a release for somebody else to use, then you need to cross-compile to a more generic target. So that's when basically Zig will select a baseline CPU to target without all the super advanced instruction sets that other people might not have on their CPU. So that's one. Another one is that for debug builds, for example, Zig always enables ubsun by default. So what's happened in the past is that people have been compiling C projects with Zig, experienced a crash where the crash is because of a UD2 instruction, like well, it depends on the platform which instruction you get, but basically there's a bad instruction that is like, it's bad on purpose, because that's how ubsun works. Ubsun places trap instructions whenever UB could happen, and that's how you discover that you have UB in your C code using UBSAN. So Zig defaults to UBSAN enabled, and it has happened a bunch of times that people have discovered bugs in even popular C libraries because people are just not used to enabling UBSAN in their debug builds in the C world. So you get a different set of defaults, which I think that basically they really improve your experience out of the box. Another thing that happens with Zig C that you don't get from Clang, caching. So Zig has very good caching that you can use not only with the build system itself when you do Zig build, but also if you just invoke Zig C, that compilation will be cached. I believe that Clang nor GCC do any caching out of the box. They do have support for some caching features that usually are orchestrated by build systems for you. But like the direct CLI doesn't do that for you. Like, you know, a normal invocation that you normally would do with just like clang-o whatever. So you get also that from Zig. So long story short, all these things, different defaults, but then at some point, the process of turning C code into an object file or a static archive, that is done by Clang, and everything that Clang can do normally, then Zig C can also do. So it's, yeah, competitive from that perspective. So basically, you could create an Emacs executable through Zig C for another platform easily. Well, the answer to that question is a little bit more complicated. The answer is maybe, but it depends on whether NIM outputs portable C or not. If NIM outputs C code that has inside of it macros that can recognize, that basically choose the correct, let's say, let me give you an example. For example, on Linux, you have file descriptors. On Windows, you have handles. And I believe that depending on the platform, the size of these things could even change. So there are a few platform-specific things that you might express in C in a portable way or might not. And I don't know what type of C NIM outputs. That said, you might get NIM to output C-specific. Even if it's not multi-platform, maybe you could get NIM to output C specific to Windows, for example, and then yes, you would be able to cross-compile it from Linux for Windows using Zig C. So there are some things that are like out of our control, but if you get those right, yeah, sure, totally. Do you know if it's possible to disable debug symbols when using Zig C? Yeah. I think you need to define the optimization level. I believe it's -O. Man, there's so many options. God damn it. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Where is -O? Oh, you know what? Parsing profile node while parsing release fast. Yeah. Okay, let's try this. Is this going to work? Broken pipe. Oh, let's try this. Release fast. You know what? Maybe Zig C doesn't have the release flag. Can any of the Zig regulars help me out with this one? So I think it supports target. Okay, this is annoying. Oh, dash. Oh, thank you. Okay, so generate code for the given target. So we have that. Okay, there's no dash O. Yeah, fstrip is for stripping the bug symbols, yes. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should have... I was about to get there at some point. I just wanted to first go through the different release modes, but I guess it doesn't support dash O. Zig C. In any case, yes, fstrip should... You know what? I think that these options are there. We're just not seeing them. Okay. Do we have allow.c in here? No. Time to make it. Include stdio. stdio file not found. Is it .h? Okay. Then, oh my god. Int void. Int main. Print f. Warn. Starship utils. Executing command user being cc timeout. Okay, Starship. By the way, it's going bonkers. There's way too many files in here, so it doesn't even know anymore what to show. Like, this is Zig, this is Python. This is Go, I think. Because there's a bunch of files in this folder, so all the plugins... Oh, there's also C. So all the plugins are activating all at once. So Zig C hello.c dash o hello. Okay, so we got hello world. Now let's try this. Invalid integral value release fast. Okay, so it does not support... By the way, this is a dash O release fast like this. It's a flag that you can pass to Zig normally. So the Zig CC interface doesn't support this, which I guess means that it supports optimization level using the same flags that Clang uses. Then let's see if it supports fstrip. Unknown Clang option fstrip. So no, it does not support fstrip. That's a good question. So fstrip is totally supported by Zig and can be used in the context. And there are some Zig specific flags that you can still pass to Zig CC, even though they are not normally supported by Clang. They're just like extra things that Zig can do. But apparently neither of this is the answer in our case. So you're saying that G0 doesn't do that either. Well, I guess I can strip hello. Well, okay, I guess calling strip on hello didn't change it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have an answer to this question. So here's my suggestion. Maybe consider joining any of the Zig communities. So if you like forums, go to zigit.dev. You can go to zigit.dev. There's a Zig community here where you can, it's forum style, so you can ask questions. And there's also, like as another example, one very big Discord server where you have where is it? Zig help. And you can open a new thread in Zig help and ask about that. Honestly, I don't know. Let's see. Zig CC strip. Zig CC seems to strip debug symbols. Okay, that was something else. Somebody who didn't know about PDB. Yeah, I'm actually surprised, honestly. I don't know what the answer is for Zig CC. Yeah, you know what? I was hypothesizing that there might be some flags that are not shown in the Zig C help menu. I do suspect that that is not the case. So anything that here mentions stripping does stripping. So I don't know. Dash G generate source level debugging information. Disable merging, disable. G Z value. Compression type. I'm surprised also that it doesn't say anything with regards to G0. But yeah, I'm sorry. You need to ask somebody else. I've never done this. By the way, I'm also curious on the answer. So if you ever get an answer from somebody, feel free to report it. I'm curious to see how things are. Okay, what were we doing? What were we doing before this huge tangent? We were trying to get YouTube working, right? So we have message details, we have message text. Let's look at the other thing. So the user's message. So we don't support other stuff yet. Also, you know what I love? That they don't show you here what is optional or not. Like, this is a huge union of different possible messages, but they don't have a way of expressing this in JSON, and so they just don't show you. And they only mention here, like in passing, oh, by the way, this field is missing in this case. It's so fucking annoying. I hate it. By the way, one reason why I made my own JSON replacement, which I use in Bork as the config file, and I also use in Zine as my static site generator as the front matter language. One reason, so first of all, structs versus maps. Different notation when keys are part of a schema versus when you have to come up with key names as the user. So look at this. Look at this package.json, right? Package.json. Look at dependencies. We use in Ziggy, we use dot dependencies when this is like a struct notation where these fields are part of a schema, while these ones, they are up to you. So React, LeftPad, they're up to you. Also, what else do people come up with on their own in a package JSON file? Scripts, right? When you have your scripts that you can run with npm run whatever is a key that you put in there under scripts, but scripts is part of a schema, so it would be dot scripts and then whatever goes inside quotes. That's one. Also, yeah, struct unions. Ever had to fight JSON to express a tag union? Yeah, everybody does. Apparently everybody struggles with this, and API designers just don't give a fuck. They just give you stuff where everything could or could not be there, and then maybe they tell you. Sometimes they tell you this property is always present and its value determines which fields are present in the resource. So look at this, for example, this type field. This type field is your tag union tag. This is your tag. Why is it a field somewhere? Like, you parse this somewhere at some point after you've seen 10 other fields that could not be there. You don't know. Ah, man, so annoying. In any case, the other thing that we care about is author details, display name, and that's it. Okay, so our chat message is complete, I think. Author details. No, author details is not inside the strip. The snippet, it's outside. So gotta put it out there. And I think that also means that we need to ask for author details in here. Let me double check. So we landed there by clicking here. our snippet here, part, sorry. Yeah, author details. Okay. So, we have polling interval millis. Can we put it there? Okay, so we should be able to parse this in theory. And then I guess we can print the contents. So first of all, we can set what's this thing called? Page. Okay. Pages, messages, .next page token. Then we want to print all the items, I guess. That's it. And then we want to sleep for that's milliseconds, right? So we want to sleep for m dot, no, it's not m, it's messages dot polling interval millis times ns per millisecond. You know what, maybe we can save this. And print it. All right, I cannot use the entire expression because otherwise it would be nanoseconds. That's just annoying. Okay, so okay, to do, and that's it. In theory, okay, there's only one problem. I am not doing smart things with memory management because right now, for example, we are placing here information that comes from buff. We keep appending to buff, but I don't know if we are resetting it or not. Like, I don't know if any of these things are resetting as they should. This guy is not resetting as it should. That I know for sure. This guy is out of whack right now. That's not particularly good. Also, wait a second. Chat res. There you go. Also, let's oh no, that's kind of it. In any case, sorry, I was saying, we're not doing smart things in terms of memory management because I suspect, I want to watch this go wrong, but I suspect that at some point, we need to reset buff. And the problem is, if we reset it here, like if we, let's say that we reset it after we're done doing things, like before sleeping or after sleeping, we reset it. But then by resetting it, we are like invalidating this thing because this thing is a pointer to memory in here. So we need to like maybe duplicate this, but we don't really want to duplicate this at every single time. We just want this memory to live for a little bit longer. So maybe the solution is simply to reset here. Here we reset buff. Let's see, what do we have? Resize 0 maybe? Yeah, we resize 0. And what do we do with URL buffer then? I think we can reset URL buffer down here. Why can I not reset URL buffer? No definition found. Oh, but for this guy, it's fine. Why cannot URL buff be reset? What's the problem there, officer? Buff is just an array list. You know what? Let's see what Zig has to say about this stuff. Oh, error is ignored. Oh wait, it needs to be tried? Oh yeah. Oh, it's resized. I'm so dumb. Okay, that explains it. Invalid format string S for oh, text message details dot message text, of course. Bad reply. Huh. We're getting a bad reply. Okay, so I guess the solution is to test this API in Bruno, I guess. Okay, so with this one, page token is nothing. Live chat ID, we saw it earlier, right? It's in here. It's this guy. We can copy it, paste it here. Okay, let's see what happens if we send this. Oh, I don't have authorization, huh? Bearer token. Copy it, paste it, send it. Invalid authentication credentials. Unauthenticated. Could it be that this token has already expired? Could it be that we need a new one? I mean, it's the same token, so it shouldn't make much of a difference, but yeah, maybe this token has already expired. Okay, let's remove token.secret. Let's do the entire workflow. Yeah, I think it's the same token. So, oh, but it's okay. It's not the same token, and now it works. So we're getting something. Yeah, that works. So why are we getting a bad reply here? This is saying page token set to nothing. Also, let's see what are the 961 interval milliseconds. So once a second it updates. Well, could be worse, I guess. Total results, 25 results per page, 23. Oh, that's not a lot. So why is it saying in our application that we're getting a bad reply? I suspect because this page token is set to something. Page token is not valid. We do get a 400 bad request though. Oh, you know what we should do? We should print the body. Even if the status is different than okay, we should still print it. Wait, I'm doing this in the wrong place. Yeah, okay, it's saying page token is not valid. How do we do this then? I'm still surprised though. I'm still a little bit surprised because let's see what the URL looks like, because there should not be a problem there. Oh no, where's the ampersand? That's where the problem is. Oh no. There you go. Oh, there we go. Sleeping for 770 milliseconds. Polling. Uh-oh. Polling. Uh-oh. Live chat ID went out of whack. Yeah, that's on me. I mean, I'm messing around, so I'm not being a good citizen when it comes to memory. So what's the problem? The problem is that chat ID comes from buff. All these things come from buff, so we need to like copy it if we want to reset that thing. So we just duplicate it and we should be good. Okay, so I think that we can, at this point, remove some of the debug printing. So let's just print the messages. Let's not print the polling stuff. Let's not print the URL every time we regenerate it. Okay, I think we have our YouTube chat client, basically. So there you go. Oh no! God damn it! Where's the last print? Oh, we're printing the body somewhere. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we got YouTube up and running. Could have been worse, could have been better, I guess. So there you go. So Zwip, what up, Loris? Thanks for bringing more Zig content into my day. Let's go. Well, thank you, everybody. It's been great being able to also add YouTube to the set of platforms that I can stream to. Hey, Lee Cannon. Hello. Yep. Test succeeds. Test succeeded. The only problem is that there is... Okay, it's not that bad. It's 1 second delay, I guess, in theory. But there's like 1 second delay because of the polling rate. To be fair, you know what? I've been hating on this thing a bunch. Maybe I shouldn't have hated that much. The reality is that if I had to guess, actually, without even needing to guess, Twitch also probably has to do some what's it called? Some buffering. Like, I'm guessing that also on Twitch, whenever a bunch of messages start coming in all at the same time, a few things get batched at some point. So all in all, it works. It's there. So we are... This client is not exactly Bork quality yet, but, you know, shouldn't be a lot of work to bring this tech also to Bork. Actually, let me move this here so people can see new comments coming in if there's any. That's good. That's also good for me because it's annoying having to look at 2 different comment streams. I usually don't have to do that, so it's good to be able to bring everything back into one unique tool that does it all. Also, I guess that now we need to figure out another thing. How do we display YouTube versus Twitch? Because right now we don't show which is which. I guess maybe we should put, like, before the nickname, we can put like an image that shows either Twitch or YouTube, like a tiny logo of each platform, so that you know each comment where it's coming from, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of it, honestly. Could have been better, could have been worse. What's nice though is that the tag YT, yeah, I could. The problem is that, like, if you look at it, like, if I put that as normal text, you can already see, right, that tag is like 4 characters wide. That's kind of a lot. I was hoping to basically be able to use fewer columns for that. So my idea is basically to use an image that is basically 2 columns wide. So the equivalent of this YT, except as an image. Like, you can see, right, how we already have support for emotes. Although, you know what? I'll say one thing though. We do only have image support inside of terminals that support the KT protocol. So you know what it might be? It might be that I will fall back to these tags if you don't have support for the image protocol, but I will probably prefer an image when you do have support for that. Coloring YouTube in red, Twitch in purple. I don't know, because so the reason why I'm not sure about that is because Twitch has support for coloring usernames. Like, you can set up how you want your username to be colored, I believe. And as a colorblind person, I don't know, colors seem like a problematic information channel to me. In any case, these are like decent suggestions. Like, I think they're all reasonable. And if somebody else were to make were to use colors, you know, I would say, yeah, that's a reasonable choice. Not what I necessarily would do myself. Bad reply. Error. Code 404. The live chat that you're trying to retrieve cannot be found. Check the value of the request's parameter to ensure that it is correct. What? 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 Okay, you know what? Let's print the URL whenever something like this happens. But what? Let's reset it after this. And then embed reply. And let's do this. What? Like, I'm not convinced that that's a bug in my code. I sincerely hope that this thing is not going to poop itself on... Oh, you know what? It is going to poop itself on occasion. I can already tell. I can feel it in my bones that this thing is just going to poop itself on occasion. Oh no. I don't know. Maybe put the YT tag in the empty space under the date sent. That is, yes, a place where we could put something like this. Although I do think that right now what kind of marks... Hey, Grandpa Mitch. Hello, hello. Right now what marks the beginning of a message, I mean, you can see how sometimes, so here's, sometimes the date can also indicate a new message from the same user if the minute has changed. Like if a message, if you send a second message within the same minute, then we put the arrow. Otherwise, we repeat the date just with less emphasis. But like in general, the beginning of a message, yeah, the date does mean some of that, but the nickname for now is what more than anything else means the beginning of a message. And what I'm thinking is that what I feel like it's the preferred place where to put this information is this. Like you kind of want your eye to mostly read along this line. Although it is true, you know what? I would say that the value, part of the value of having like the date on the side like this with with empty stuff below is that it kind of helps you scan, right? You scan and you know that interesting lines correspond to this thing. So I'm not sure that adding more noise below, even though yes, it's empty space that could be used, I'm not sure that adding more noise would actually improve the reading experience. What I was also thinking is to make nicknames more highlighted. Like you see how you highlight them here, right? By clicking on them. I was kind of thinking of maybe having this highlighting always be on or something along those lines. I don't know yet precisely. But I guess these are all decisions that need to be made. Okay, I would be curious to watch this crash again. You know what? I'll try to stay here a little bit more to see if it crashes. I'm actually curious for real. But I think that's mostly it for me. So in terms of development, I've done most of what I wanted to do today. We're not done yet. We need to integrate this stuff with Bork proper. Yes. But well, we're getting there, I guess. And I think I'll do this work off stream. So if anybody has Zig questions, this is the moment. If you want to chat about anything Zig related, you are not interrupting me, etc., etc. Also, I have to decide if I want to risk it and bring YouTube chat to the conference, like support for YouTube messages, because Twitch messages have been there for a while now. They're kind of, I think there actually are some bugs still related to Twitch messages. but it's been there for a while. It's solid enough, I guess. At least has been solid enough for my streams. I don't know if YouTube messages are gonna be a good idea. I guess we'll see. In any case, I really wonder what the heck happened earlier when we got that error message. I wish I did print the URL that we were sending. It's unfortunate that we're not doing that right now. How do I get more time in my life so that I can actually focus on learning Zig? Yeah, good question. I don't know. I don't know. So here's the only suggestion that I have. One thing that I learned over time working in the software industry is that there are a lot of jobs out there where you don't produce anything of value. Or rather, what you produce is of extremely minor value. Even setting aside that maybe what your company wants you to write is user hostile, so it's not like you're doing good stuff for your users, you're just making their life worse. In general, a lot of jobs just make you do low value stuff. And when your job is making you do low value stuff, then the only way they can produce enough value so that they can get... There's also a connection between the value of what you produce and the amount of money that you get back. It's not like a one-to-one. It's not perfect. But generally speaking, if you work on shitty stuff, you get paid shit as well. So plenty of jobs basically compensate for their inability to work on interesting problems and produce interesting and valuable solutions. They compensate by accepting a ton of shitty works, of shitty jobs, and by making you do shitty work for a ton of shitty clients. And that basically ends up exhausting your energy and your time every day. And you might even get to a point where you end your workday and you don't even have energy for yourself. My suggestion is try as hard as you can to get out of those situations. You might end up in one of those situations either by chance or because, you know, at a point in time, maybe you just need a job and that's what happens to be available to you at the moment. And so you just accept it, even though you don't expect it to be the job of your life, right? But that's where you land. And the problem is that if you get to a point where you have this daily cycle where this shitty job with shitty clients ends up eating away all your daily energy, and then you don't even have the energy to, for example, polish your CV and apply for better jobs, that's bad. That's a cycle that you need to get out of as soon as you can. Once you get to a point where you have a job where you do something valuable, maybe even your own work will give you time and space to learn technologies like Zig that actually solve actual problems, instead of learning, you know, the latest and greatest CSS framework that is basically the same exact fucking thing that all the CSS frameworks were before it, except with just one tiny feature that has been tweaked that ultimately will not make you any better at making websites. So this is my suggestion. I've been there. I used to work at a place where I felt I was in that situation, where the job was basically eating all the energy in my life just to work on useless stuff for pennies. Pennies that went to the company, and so like I would get fractions of pennies as an employee. So try to do better than that, which doesn't necessarily, you know, translate to work for only the big names and try to, you know, chase prestige and whatnot. No, there's a lot of things that are considered prestigious that are actually not that good necessarily, and there are also a lot of places where, you know, people are just solving problems, day-to-day problems, like real problems, and they're making a decent living working normal hours. Aim for that, and you will have all the time that you will need to, you know, have hobbies, work on personal, what would you call it? Personal improvement, you know, personal development, like you work on gaining new skills. That's my suggestion. Split the window in two. Oh god, no. Okay, that one. Split the window in two and have Twitch on one half and YouTube on the other. That one I'm not on board with. I think the whole point of using Bork on both platforms is like the most utility that you can get out of it is so that you can merge two separate streams into only one unified stream. Keeping them separate, like, no, not on board with that. So, I wonder what happened here. I wonder why we got that API error earlier. That's that's interesting. I'm kind of surprised and confused by that. But well, I guess it is what it is. So, thank you all for hanging out. If you're on Twitch, let me see if I can raid somebody. Now there's this funny problem where people on Twitch are gonna go a different path than people on YouTube. But you know what? I don't see anybody that I want to raid, so I think I'm just gonna call it a day. So never mind. Whether you're on YouTube or Twitch, the ending is gonna be the same. I'm gonna go offline. So thank you all for hanging out. I hope to see you also next stream. If you are on YouTube, sit tight. Right now, I'm sorry, your chat messages were not showing in Bork, so you're kind of like a second-class citizen type of situation. But we're working. We're working to get you on Bork, where all the cool people are hanging out. So I'll see you all soon, and yeah, that's it. Bye bye.